Cardi B has got zero chill off camera and on it.
I thought I was gonna have a lonely night tonight, but my husband is coming. He's coming to me, guys.
In a world where most celebrities on her level of fame and influence would rather die than do or say half of the things she says and does, Cardi B's uncanny ability to survive some of the wildest career-destroying events must be every publicist's daydream and nightmare wrapped up in one. But hey, that's why her fans love her, right? And whatever they've accused her of doing, whatever footage of her that's on the internet can't be worse than throwing mics at fans and fantasizing about Offset's third leg, right? Right? Wrong. In a couple of seconds, I'm gonna give you front row tickets and a VIP tour of Cardi B's wildest moments caught on camera. Don't hold your breath because it's about to get nasty. Cardi B versus the LGBTQ plus community.
Why is it when you go to any type of Asian birthday party, event, wedding, I don't know, all they do is sing karaoke, sing dang, sing queen, do the cha-cha slide and shit.
You have no idea just how much racist Cardi B has said in her past. The past before she even knew she would become a superstar.
Look at my gram and talk mad and be like, I don't like this. My you the type that will eat the sausages and rock.
So it's not surprising that there is a lot of unprintable content from that phase of her life. But in this age of cancel culture, that is never an excuse. And that's why, for most celebrities, getting caught saying the F word or dissing marginalized communities is worse than getting into a car accident or catching an incurable disease. Because if you survive the car accident, at least you get pity points from your fans that could launch your career to the stratosphere. And if you catch the disease, at the very least, you will go out knowing your fans still love you. But if you are caught saying like I showed in the Cardi clips, it could mean the permanent end of your career. Y'all remember how Kevin Hart lost the Academy Award hosting gig in 2018 for insensitive jokes he made in 2009? Or how Mel Gibson, despite his incredible talent for filmmaking, has been pushed and kept in the background for anti-gay statements he made in 2001? Well, Cardi B's Waterloo moment almost came after she got it down with Offset and began giving very questionable relationship advice.
You ever cheat on me? I'll be like, alright, I'm gonna take him out, we're gonna get drunk, I'm gonna get him all perked up and everything, we're gonna have a good time, get him super twisted, then bring a around, we're gonna have a threesome, and when he wake up, he's gonna be like, what the yeah, because is a tranny.
Whoa, we'll talk about plot twists. I don't know about you, but it feels weird to intoxicate a partner for sexual revenge. Maybe it's just me, but that's not even what we're focusing on. The word tranny. It is a slur for transsexuals. And I don't need to tell you that, within the context of the clip I just showed you, Cardi wasn't thinking very highly of transsexuals. In fact, she was talking about using them as a punishment for her husband. Now, as you might have expected, there was backlash, and as always, it wasn't pretty. No one was laughing, and Cardi had to come to her own defense on Twitter. In tweets that have since been deleted, she wrote, "I'm not transphobic. You love dragging that. Have I said some remarks in the past that I apologize for? Yes. I'm from a place where people have closed mindsets, so we might now know what? Insults at each other or not. I never disrespected no trans nor nobody from LGBT. This defense almost sounds like a lie. It almost sounds like we didn't just have video evidence of her saying that, but she wasn't done just yet. She pulled out the classic receipt of her support for the LGBT community and her activism, saying, how many tweets and videos have I made supporting LGBT? Plenty. How much do I support 2 people on my glam team who I have been experiencing their transition? Hard. So don't label me something that I'm not. But you wish Cardi was done, because when you get the pop star talking, she doesn't stop. Do you know the real definition of transphobia? When you can't even be next to trans or gays, people literally fight for them not to have equal rights. And finally, when fans began to diss her fashion sense, and one even came as far as suggesting that she needed gay people to improve her fashion sense, Cardi responded by stepping out of the closet. Sister is gay. My best friends are gay women. I'm a whole bisexual, so what are you talking? But this isn't even the first time Cardi would be caught coming after the transsexual community. The year before this Twitter apology tour, this anti-trans meme was shared on her Facebook page. And when the backlash came, she blamed the incident on a former employee whom she claimed had exclusive access to her social media page and was the one posting the memes. Who was this individual? No one knows. So was Cardi lying or telling the truth? Again, no one knows. But you see, you can only control what you do and don't do. You cannot control the actions of others. And in this particular scenario, Offset was the one that went off the rails and threatened both their careers. In early 2018, fans of the couple began accusing Offset of using anti-gay lyrics in his feature on YFN Lucci's Boss. Like, the particular verse went, "I cannot vibe with queers, I got the heart of a bear." Now don't ask me what that flow means. I ain't here for that. Just know that Cardi came to Offset's defense saying that he wasn't homophobic, even though in that clip I showed you from the beginning, she clearly stated that tricking her husband into a threesome with a transsexual was a perfect revenge for him cheating. But hey, 5 years later, and despite the scary controversies, Cardi's career hasn't suffered a dent. But do you know who successfully planted a dent on Cardi B? Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Before she was a Grammy Award-winning, record-breaking, multi-platinum, record-selling pop star, Cardi B was a stripper, and she was a freaking professional at it too. Now, if you know anything about the profession, you know that oftentimes there can be fights between strippers, and when those fights break out, they can be ugly. What you just witnessed was a physical brawl that happened between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj in 2018 at a fashion bazaar in New York. And this feud was a direct result of a storm, a rivalry that had been brewing since the year before. Not every fight has winners, but this one did, at least in the moment. But before we dive into that bit, let's explore the utter craziness that led to pop stars to slug it out old school in front of New York's elite. Unsurprisingly, this insanity began at the very beginning of Cardi's rise to superstardom in industry and across the world. Back in 2017, and this was before Bodak Yellow, peeps were comparing the Bronx native to Nicki. As you can expect from the Queen Barb, she didn't like it. And soon enough, there were rumors circulating that Nicki was showing social media love to some posts that referred to Cardi's music as trash. Truth is, those claims could have been made off of photoshopped images, a fact that Nicki's like on this particular Twitter post suggested. However, even if the celebrities weren't prepared to fight, their fans were trigger ready, pistols drawn, and ready to fire at the slightest approval from their respective queens. But then this happened. A video of Nicki hitting the dance floor to Cardi's monster hit Bodak Yellow went viral. You see, Cardi had done with one song what Nicki had hoped and failed to do over the course of her already successful career at the time. Cardi had topped the charts, making her the first female rap solo artist since Lauryn Hill, 20 years before to do so. So even if you didn't want to compare Cardi to Nicki, the numbers would force you to. So you can imagine how confused fans were when Nicki sent a congratulatory post to Cardi on the success of the song. It read, "Congratulations to a fellow New Yorker on a record-breaking achievement. Bardi, this is the only thing that matters. Enjoy it." And surprisingly, Cardi was also sweet with her response, tweeting, "Thank you. This means so much coming from you. This should have been the beginning of a beautiful friendship, and it could have been the end of a meaningless beef. But you know how it goes, someone was definitely tripping." Because you see, Nicki had this whole other beef going on with Quavo at the time. That's not our focus, ATM, so I'm not going to get into it right now. And unsurprisingly, somehow, Offset got in the crossfires when Nicki hopped as a feature on Katy Perry's Swish Swish track. The diss went like this: "Silly rap beefs just get me more check. My life is a movie. I'm never Offset. Me and my amigos, no, not Offset." And as you would have expected, Cardi swept in on Offset's defense, coming to his defense in a live stream where she said, "I hate this shit. I really, really do. Like me, I was happier when I was macking in the hood. This right here is so fake." Then she came directly at Nicki in a festival in Queens she was performing at.
You know this, right? You know this. She never liked me, and all of a sudden she wanna be friends with me. No. I still don't like you. Don't be.
But you know Nicki, never the one to back down from a fight that'll get her flexing lyrical proficiency. She returned the energy later that same month on the track No Flags with 21 Savage and Offset. Yes, Cardi's husband was featured on the same song. Talk about the disrespect. Her verse went, "I heard these labels are trying to make another me. Everything you're getting, little is because of me." This came after Cardi signed a neck-breaking multi-million-dollar deal with Atlantic Records. So there's no doubt about who was saying what about who. A few weeks later, Cardi was on The Breakfast Club, and in true Charlemagne fashion, the radio host threw the question to her face, no filters.
Now you kind of brushed past it a little. You and Nicki don't have a beef, do you?
No.
Got you. She's just not your cup of tea.
I don't. She ain't a man.
Goodness gracious. The nastiness to their back and forth went on into 2018, then it mellowed. Then finally in May of 2018, a pregnant Cardi and Nicki were captured exchanging pleasantries when they crossed each other's paths at the Met Gala. Many were certain this was how it would end. The pop stars had squashed their beef one last time, but you know that ain't real, because that clip I showed you in the beginning hasn't happened yet. And it would happen soon, a little while after this peace treaty, right after Nicki instigated it on a radio show when someone needlessly brought up their beef again. Nicki was irritated by the question and and suggested they move on from the topic before saying, "People talk shit about me all the time. I don't go around and tell people to stop posting me because I see one bad thing about myself." Then in September 2018, the fight happened. Word was that Cardi was the one who confronted Nicki. Cardi was screaming about her child, accusing Nicki of talking bad about her child. She wanted to fight, but Nicki had like 10 bodyguards and Cardi had just 2 people. However, that didn't stop Cardi from throwing a shoe at Nicki. But while Nicki came out without a scratch, blowing kisses to the camera, it was Cardi who came out of that fight with a visible lump on her head that kind of painted her the loser of the face-off. It's been more than 4 years since the altercation, and so far nothing's changed. The two still hate each other. And from what I've seen on the news, Cardi's still throwing stuff at people. Cardi B versus the fans. Fans have been moving mad recently. Case in point, the nasty event with BB Rexha. The poor lady had to get stitches.
As Rexha made her way down the stage, a concert goer threw a cell phone from the audience, hitting her in the face.
And when the fan who threw the phone was questioned, the bully said he thought it would be funny. Then there was this similar situation with Harry Styles in Vienna.
Ooh, you can see in the social media video, a fan threw something on stage, hitting Styles in the eye.
Meanwhile, Adele saw all of this and decided to strap up.
Dare you for something to me.
But hey, on a more serious note, notice how most of these pop stars getting stuff thrown at them are European? Besides Pink, who got handed a Ziploc bag containing the ashes of a fan's dead mother. Most fans know that if they do the same to American artists, if they did it, say, to an American pop star like Cardi B, they'd get instant karma. This happened at an open-air performance in Las Vegas in early August. We see an audience member tossing water at the pop star on stage, and in a second, the superstar offers divine judgment with her microphone. And hey, when I saw it happen, I was about to do a victory dance. I was about to say that's more like it. These unruly fans are getting what they deserve. But it turns out there was more to this story than we could see from just this clip, because some minutes before the clip and the water-throwing incident, Cardi had specifically requested that her audience throw water on it.
Splash her down. Give us a water. Splash her the fuck down.
Woo, that's good. Put that in my
So Cardi not only asked for water to be thrown at her in her lady parts, she encouraged it. And hey, there was a reason. The sun was at its peak because, like I said earlier, it was an open-air performance in Vegas. But with this clip, that lady who hurled the water at Cardi was vindicated. Even if you somehow insist that because Cardi said it one time, she didn't mean it all the time, you gotta consider the fact that the sun was still in the sky, fans were crazy, and this was a concert. If you encourage it once, don't be shocked when in a completely different show, someone comes with the waterworks. But hey, that won't be happening in any Cardi show anytime soon, because Cardi has given them a clear reason not to. And it's not even just this show alone. In the past year, while fans have been throwing stuff at their favorite artists, Cardi has been throwing mics at just about anybody. From a DJ in Vegas who wasn't giving her the vibe she wanted, to clobbering another fan that got close enough to try to grab her mic in a UK Wireless concert. I'm sorry if this was you and you were somehow innocent in all of this, but this shit is insanely hilarious. I'll show you another angle. So maybe you can't blame Cardi for some of these knee-jerk reactions she gives off in the moment to perceived threats on herself or her performance. And maybe she is to blame because as long as she's not under any physical threat, she has no right to throw anything at anyone. Because in the case of the waterworks incident, the fan she threw the mic at wasn't even the one that got hit. A random fan got hit by the mic on her right shoulder and later reported that she began experiencing pain in the area. Meanwhile, footage has since surfaced that showed that the fan that threw the water was actually shocked and remorseful when she realized what she had done. Cardi B versus men.
Bill Cosby, once a beloved TV dad and tonight a judge now determining that he is a sexually violent predator, ordering Cosby be cuffed and immediately sent to prison.
Accusations and rumors have swirled for decades. Now R. Kelly is formally facing sexual abuse charges.
Accusations and rumors have swirled. On paper, none of these men have anything to do with Cardi B. But in 2019, at the height of their infamy, a clip of Cardi B admitting to some crimes caused the internet to find similarities between the Bronx pop star and these convicted former superstars.
Cause I did it myself. You must have forgot, that
When this video surfaced in 2019, it was already 3 years old, and its bizarre self-snitching content was in response to an IG user's claim that Cardi hadn't earned the newfound success she was experiencing. Obviously, that wasn't true. Cardi wasn't a trust fund baby. She was not born into any form of wealth. She was born poor in the Bronx to strict Catholic parents. And one way you know she didn't have much growing up is because, like I stated earlier, at some point, she had to drop out and strip to earn a living. So Cardi could have just ignored the ignorant comment and moved on. But no, she had to respond. And one of the reasons why this became such a huge deal, asides the obvious problem of drugging up and robbing her clients, was the fact that this video resurfaced around the time the R. Kelly and Bill Cosby cases were very fresh in the news. So as you can probably imagine, pitchforks were sharpened, and anyone who'd been waiting to bring Cardi down to earth was ready with the fuel and the flame. But Cardi was quick to come to her own defense. She responded to the controversy in a lengthy post on Twitter where she pointed out that she never claimed to be perfect. She also pointed out that she came from a hip-hop culture where rappers routinely talked about where they came from, the horrendous that they had to do to survive, and that while these rappers glorified the murder and the violence, she didn't. She made it clear that the reason she did what she did was because her options were limited, and that she's lucky that she was able to rise from it. However, in what must have been the most confusing bit of the non-apology, she stated that the men she drugged and robbed were conscious, willing, and aware. I don't know about you, but that sounds a little impossible. To be conscious, willing, and aware when someone drugs me up and robs me sounds a little far-fetched. But hey, maybe it's just me. I can't put anything past y'all because y'all can be wild on these streets. Anyway, a lot of the internet turned on her. Some wanted her arrested, others wanted her canceled, but surprise, surprise, the very next year, and in the middle of the pandemic, Cardi B interviewed Joe Biden.
But I feel like right now, there's just a lot of tension, and we need somebody to clean that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong to say Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar Cephas is untouchable. Her career is practically unkillable, and nothing proves my statement more than the next moment I'm about to show you. Cardi B versus Martin Luther King Jr. There are 3 types of people black folks don't mess with. Anyone associated with the civil rights movement, anyone who's made the culture proud in recent years, Rihanna, Biggie, and Tupac. Okay, maybe that's 5, but you get the gist. Now, I got a question for you. What's the worst representation you've seen of the wife of a popular black leader?
You're a running for president of the United States.
If this was your answer, then I gotta give it you. You're up to date with the culture. But do you know that way before Viola Davis did her impression of the first black lady, Cardi B did her version of the first lady of the civil rights movement, Coretta Scott King, MLK's wife. And while you could say Viola's interpretation of Michelle's character was not ill-intentioned because it was for a drama series, Cardi B's version of Mrs. King was a joke from the jump, a bit in skit called The Real Housewives of the Civil Rights Movement. Everyone from Malcolm X's wife to Rosa Parks were depicted and spoke in ridiculous fashion.
So we could use the same toilet as everybody.
Well, your husband is a
All these want to sleep with my husband, but it's all right, because I know he marches home to me.
Oh, and Coretta, she thinks she's untouchable, honey. Let me tell you something about Coretta. Everybody done had a piece of Martin.
As you can expect, TMZ were the ones who dug up and released the clip, and when they did, the internet went wild for a couple of reasons. First, the skit made light of Dr. King's alleged infidelity. MLK was known to have cheated on Coretta. Secondly, the clip had been released on the 55th anniversary of MLK's 1963 I Have a Dream speech, so it felt like it was done on purpose to belittle the civil rights movement and what it meant to millions of black people. People were once again calling for Cardi to get canceled. Meanwhile, MLK's family weren't exactly pleased.
I did not see the video. I only saw elements of the video, but certainly the language that I saw, that's not my mom, first of all. My mom didn't talk like that. So it's all fictitious kind of garbage.
There were no buts or maybes here. A line had been crossed, and the only thing Cardi B could do here was to apologize to the family of Martin Luther King Jr. Thankfully, she did. And Dr. King's youngest child, Bernice, confirmed on Twitter that she had reached out to apologize for the skit. Thank you, Cardi B, for reaching out to me and apologizing for the skit that aired on TMZ. I look forward to talking with you soon. Just like that, Cardi survived what should have been the end of her career. If you enjoyed this expose, click on a video on your screen to watch even more interesting mini documentaries like this one, and I'll see you there.